Right now, massive monoliths are humming beneath the desert sand in areas scrubbed clean from your digital maps. We are infiltrating these black site facilities to expose how the world's most powerful AI models are being trained in total secrecy. What they are hiding behind these forbidden zones will change everything. Have you ever wondered why there are blank spots on Google Maps in the middle of the wasteland? These aren't glitches, they are air-conditioned fortresses, bypassing environmental laws to process restricted data. We're going off-grid to uncover the physical infrastructure of an intelligence that wasn't supposed to exist yet. The next generation of AI isn't being built in a Silicon Valley lab, it's being fed in hidden desert bunkers. These forbidden training zones operate outside the law, consuming massive resources while hidden from public view. We are tracking the signal to the coordinates they don't want you to see. Have you looked at a map of a remote desert and seen nothing? What if that nothing was hiding something enormous? Satellite images show blank desert tiles. Zoom to a blurred square in the sand. Right now, strange sights are taking shape under the desert sand. American Southwest, Middle East. Some call them secret desert zones. Whispers say they're training the next, more powerful AI. This essay will look closely at these claims. Public reports, satellite imagery, local news sources. You need to see the evidence and decide for yourself. Why should these hidden sites matter? The answer is simple. Resources, power, water, cooling infrastructure. Recent reporting from outlets like Bloomberg highlights a trend. Since 2022, there's been a 70% increase in new AI data centers in water-stressed regions. This is not a victimless choice. Wells can run dry. Farms lose irrigation access. Local ecosystems begin to wither. Look closer at the maps themselves. Nevada, Atacama Desert. Maps now show vanishing pixels, blurred patches, censored patches. These digital erasures often coincide with unexplained spikes in local power consumption. Utility companies reportedly enter secret deals, signing non-disclosure agreements. NDAs conceal how much power these unseen facilities draw, leaving the public in the dark. The mystery deepens when we consider how these facilities are being built. They are not just sprawling across the desert floor. Instead, some architectural plans and industry leads suggest a move to build downward, deep into the earth. The concept involves constructing server stacks vertically into the bedrock itself. This subterranean design serves several strategic purposes. It provides natural cooling. It provides geothermal cooling, a major advantage in a hot desert climate. It also offers physical security and concealment that a surface-level building cannot match. A modern fortress, built for machines instead of men, hidden from casual view. Going underground helps bypass a growing public concern, noise pollution. The powerful liquid-cooled machines that drive advanced AI hum at a high, persistent frequency. That noise can travel for miles and has become a source of community complaints. New noise ordinances passed in several jurisdictions in 2025 target this kind of industrial sound. By building down, these operations muffle their acoustic footprint and operate at full capacity unnoticed. It's a clever engineering fix to a social and political problem. Getting the necessary equipment to remote sites is a monumental logistical challenge. The weight of water, cooling systems, and server hardware requires specialized transport. Local news and amateur flight trackers in Arizona and Nevada have noted increased unusual activity. Unmarked cargo planes have landed at small private airfields. Convoys of heavy-duty trucks have been spotted on quiet desert roads at night. Inside these bunkers, the work may be even more sensitive. What exactly are these systems processing? Unconfirmed sources and whistleblowers raise alarms about black box datasets, vast collections of raw files, unverified records, other sensitive information. There are claims, treated as leads, that these datasets include non-consensual biometric data, classified government archives. By operating on air-gapped isolated systems, these sites could train AI on data that would otherwise be flagged by safety and ethics protocols, raising profound questions about oversight. The enormous thirst of these facilities cannot be overstated. Water is the lifeblood of the digital age, used to cool the processes that think and learn. Scientific studies project that the global water footprint for AI could reach as high as 765 billion litres in 2025 alone. Visual emphasis. Chart showing projected exponential growth of AI water and energy consumption. To put that in perspective, that is comparable to the entire world's annual consumption of bottled water. When this demand is concentrated in arid regions, the consequences are immediate. Deep aquifers that took millennia to fill can be depleted in a matter of years. This creates a direct conflict between the needs of a global technology and the survival of local communities. A growing coalition of over 230 environmental groups began a campaign in late 2025 to demand a halt to new data center construction in vulnerable areas. They point to what they call a compute water crisis, where the exponential growth of AI is directly linked to real-world harm for agriculture ecosystems, drinking water supplies. Community resistance has already managed to block an estimated $98 billion worth of data center investments as local residents organize to demand stricter regulations on how their shared water and energy resources are being used by these secretive, powerful corporations. Energy is the other half of the equation, and it is just as contentious. The power grid in many areas is simply not prepared for the sudden arrival of a facility that consumes as much electricity as a small city. This has led to high-stakes corporate maneuvering. For instance, reports from the Register detailed how OpenAI and Oracle had to abandon a planned massive expansion of their Stargate data center in Texas. The reason was a combination of financing issues and the simple fact that the local power grid could not reliably supply the projected demand. The story took another turn when Meta reportedly entered talks to lease the unused capacity, showing how fluid and competitive this landscape is. This brings us to a concerning future trend that experts are beginning to call ghost compute. Remote jurisdictions, unregulated jurisdictions, secretive jurisdictions to avoid public scrutiny and environmental regulations. As community pushback grows in places like the United States and Europe, there is a real risk that companies will simply move their most resource-intensive operations to deserts in places like Saudi Arabia, where massive projects like the Desert Dragon data centers are already under construction with less public oversight. This would make it nearly impossible to govern these powerful systems or understand the true environmental cost of their operation. The transformation of desert landscapes from places known for copper mines and casinos into digital gold mines comes at a steep human price. While tech companies and investors see abundant land and tax incentives, local residents see their wells running dry. In several communities bordering new large-scale data facilities, long-time residents have reported a noticeable drop in their well water levels. Farmers who have relied on consistent water access for generations are now facing uncertainty, forced to choose between fallowing their fields and paying exorbitant prices for water if they can get it at all. They are direct threats to livelihoods. This struggle is often a silent one. The non-disclosure agreements that have become standard practice in the industry ensure that communities are fighting an invisible enemy. They feel the effects, the strained power grid, the dwindling water, but are legally barred from knowing the cause. This lack of transparency cripples local democracy. How can a town hold a public hearing about water rights when the biggest user in the region is a secret? This information asymmetry gives immense power to corporations, allowing them to extract public resources for private profit, while leaving the local population to deal with the consequences of that extraction. The promise of jobs and economic growth that often accompanies these projects can also be misleading. While construction provides temporary employment, the long-term operation of a data center requires a relatively small, highly specialized workforce. The promised boom often fails to materialize for the broader community. Instead, towns can be left with strained public services. The digital gold is mined from their land and their water, but the profits flow to distant shareholders, creating a modern form of colonial extraction right in their own backyards. Furthermore, the legal frameworks governing these projects are often outdated or intentionally bypassed. Companies are becoming adept at using legal loopholes, such as creating special economic zones or exploiting old land use rules to build what some are calling sovereign compute zones. Within these zones, they operate with minimal oversight, avoiding local environmental regulations and reporting requirements. This practice sets a dangerous precedent. It suggests that if a technology is deemed important enough, it can exist outside the rule of law and public accountability. This is a direct challenge to the principle that people, not machines or corporations, must set the limits for powerful new technologies. Citizen scientists, open source intelligence analysts, using publicly available tools to monitor these strange sites. Satellite imagery, thermal data, light pollution maps, flight records. They can begin to identify and track the development of these hidden facilities. This grassroots oversight provides a crucial check on corporate secrecy, shining a light where companies would prefer darkness. Journalists and local community groups have a vital role to play as well. Filing public records requests, tracking corporate ownership of land, documenting changes in local water usage, documenting changes in local power usage. They can build a case that cannot be ignored. Local organizations are on the front lines fighting for stronger water rights, demanding public reviews of new industrial projects, pushing for zoning laws that protect community resources. They must pass legislation that mandates full transparency on the environmental impact of all data centers. For now, the desert holds its secrets close. Public records, satellite images, local reports point to a clear and present risk. Black box dataset claims still require definitive proof. The tangible costs to people and landscapes are already visible. Dry wells, strained grids, censored maps. These are documented facts. We must continue to ask hard questions. We must demand that the companies building our digital future do so openly and accountably. Watch the maps, watch the skies, watch our water. The world is full of incredible places, both seen and unseen. As we navigate our rapidly changing planet, it is essential to explore and understand it. Your own journey of discovery is just as important. Do not wait to see the world. Click the link in the description to book your perfect getaway. Grab all your travel essentials to make your trip unforgettable. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more travel guides, hidden gems, and tips to make your next adventure unforgettable.